Hello, good morning and welcome back to the fish locker out on the rocks. We have got an absolutely stunning day today. We've got flat calm conditions, like a 2 mile an hour wind. The water clarity has been amazing and we've got some massive tides. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and do a little bit of foraging along a rocky shore. Now I've got myself down here now. I'm 2 hours before low tide, so the tide's going to be going out for another 2 hours. And I'm just going to work my way along. I've got blue foraging bucket. I've got my foraging hook. I've got a positive attitude. We'll go and see what we can find. After anything today, just gonna have a rake about. I mean, it's the first time I've had some decent tides with some decent condition for this year. So I'm excited to see what's going on. Crabs, lobsters, fish, anemones, seaweeds, any of it. Let's go. A big part of what I do down on the shore about being able to find these creatures is you need to be able to look for the signs. Now, you're just looking for something out of place or any disturbance. This is a perfect example. You can see down here, it's all looking a little tiny bit green and white, and then that grey area there, that is out of place. And if you look, there is a little tiny hole up there. So there will be a little fish or a crab living in this hole in here, and it's turned all this sand out. Now, I can see at the bottom of there actually, there is a little edible crab. It's only about that big, so there's no point getting it out. But you're just looking for the signs. You see, look where it's turned all this dark sand out. So that's the type of thing that you're looking for. Just in all like the cracks and the crevices and little bits and pieces like that. This here, this type of seaweed, is called devil's tongue weed. We've got some Irish moss. This here, this little fizzy stuff, is called pom-pom weed. And we've got some pepper dulse, which is a flat fern weed just coming through. All the seaweeds that are going to start coming through in the next couple of weeks and a month, they're all going to be brand new, fresh grown. They've all died off over the winter and all the new stuff's coming out. It's a brilliant time to forage for seaweeds. This little rock pool here is just alive with snake locks and anemone. Every single one of these here that you can see is a little anemone. Tell you what, you wouldn't want to be a prawn falling into all this. You wouldn't last 2 seconds, would you? Just look at that water clarity. That is fantastic, isn't it? Just look how clear it is. Incredible. Oh, I wish I'd brought the wetsuit with me. One of the beauties of coming down here at this time of year is, like I said, most of the seaweeds died off over the winter. There's points in time through the summer where this thongweed is just absolutely everywhere. As you can see, most of it's died off. It's just starting to grow back now. This is the new growths coming through fresh. We've got bladderwrack, dulse, some spiraled rack. This here, this red stuff is harpoon weed. Got some nice golden kelp coming through. They are lovely when they're fresh grown. These here are flat periwinkles, the little yellow ones. Got your limpets, your purple top shells. See what we've got here. There's a furrowed crab. There is a lovely little cushion star. These here, these little white worms, are called keel worms. And some sea lettuce. So delicious, 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 delicious. This pepper dulse, as you can probably tell by the name, it has quite a peppery taste of it. And you can see as it's fresh grown like this, as it's all the same colour, this is the best time to harvest it. Oh, well there. You've got to be quick doing this. Here is another furrowed crab. Oh. See if I can catch that. Got it. There is a prawn. There is a juvenile male edible crab. Cancerous pagarus, those are like your synonymous UK edible crabs. They're not worth harvesting. You can't harvest them until they're about the size of your hand. But also here, there is a strawberry's anemone. Strawberry anemone, you can tell because it looks like a strawberry with those little spots on it. Anything else under here? Just more prawns. Yeah. Not to mention all the little things on the bottom of this rock here, but there was like 5 different species just under 1 stone. Make sure to put it back gently. If you ever lift a rock up, always make sure you put it back, because this is what gives the creatures underneath the shelter. This little guy here, that little piece of seaweed, it's called an oyster thief. I just love it when they're all fresh growing like that. I mean, God, what a stunning place. Pink coral weeds. About 5 different types of pink coral weed. These here, those are the types of overhangs that I was talking about. That's what you're looking for. You're just looking for an area like this to look underneath. Now, as you can see at the moment, it's just full of sponges and little tiny crabs in there and there. That's what you're looking for. This seaweed here is actually called bunny ears. So we've got bunny ears, flat fernweed, pepper dulse, thongweed, sea lettuce, serrated rack, dulse, harpoon weed, pink coral weeds. Oh, that's actually called a stingwinkle. I'll put the name for that in there, but it just looked like a rock, didn't it? You almost couldn't have seen that. Here on this rock, you can see like these little tiny, almost look like polyps. These are the 2 early stages of thongweed. So you know those real long ones, these ones, they start off like a little lump, then it flattens out like a toadstool, then out of the top of the toadstool they grow these long thongs. There, that is an olive squat lobster. Have a quick look under here as well. Oh, that there, if I can get hold of it, is a shore clingfish, also called a Cornish sucker. Stick that in my bucket real quick. They've got a sucker pad underneath them so they can hang on to the rocks. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little crabs. Gently put that back. We'll have a look at this. Those 2 dots on top, that shows that it's an adult male. I don't know if you can see him, it's got little tiny red spots all the way along its tail. This is them fully grown. I tell you what, he's all about the aggression with that mouth, isn't he? Come on, in you go, lad. Look at that guy hiding under there. Spiny starfish. Believe it or not, but they get like 4 times bigger than this. The way that they feed is they pick things up with these little tiny legs and work them all the way to that little beak right in the centre of there. Just looking for areas like that. There's something there. There is a little sea urchin. What we have here is exactly what I was talking about. See this cave? I don't know if you can see it, but right up at the back of there you can just see a pair of claws and an antenna. See it? There he is. Now that looks like a good sized lobster to me. See it? But this is going to take 2 hands. Right, it's a bit of a waiting game now. I've still got another hour of the ebb. So I'm waiting for all this water to go down to get laid down in there. Because actually, as I've had a little bit of a rake around, I think there are 2 lobsters in there. Because what I've got is, if I'm really careful, this here this is the shell from a lobster that's peeled. Now, crustaceans, decapods, they have a hard exoskeleton. In order to grow, they need to shed their old shell, and then they grow and then harden the shell. What they'll do is they'll find a hole to hole up like this. Yeah, I think there's 2 in there. I think there's probably a male and a female. And this is the old shell from the female. And just to see the antennas up the back of there still. There's little bits of it. So this is another good sign to look for. Little bits of an old shell like this. Yeah. I'll wait for the tide to ebb off a little bit more and then I'll get laid down in there and see if I can't get it out. I'm absolutely beat. What a battle. That was 45 minutes getting them out. But that's a big guy and that's a little female. Whew, I tell you what, that was the one that was at the front, look, with the stunted antenna. He was the big one right at the front that I saw, and she was hiding there behind him. But yeah, what a battle. He's you can see he's a male by the size of his claws, but also if you turn him over, he's got 2 little white dots, one there and one there. Right, there's a couple of bylaws in my local area about lobsters. One of them is minimum landing size, and that's 90mm carapace. That's from there to there. She'll be probably just about 90. He is well over. He'll be like 115, 120. Also, no V-notches. No V-notches. No V-notches. Also, she hasn't got any eggs. So that's it. As it is, what you will often find is this is her shell from before. So when you find a pair of lobsters like this, what usually happens is a male will find a female just before she's about to peel. She will peel her shell while he protects her because she's soft and she can't defend herself. And kind of as a reward for that, she allows him to mate with her. And then as her shell hardens up, she then brings her eggs on and then moves on her way. So if you find a pair like this, what you might often find is you'll find one that's that female there. Because I found an old shell, I know that she's already peeled and she's hardened up, so she's already pregnant. If she'd have been soft, I would have left them both together so he could protect her. But I know because she's hard that she'll be going to move off soon and go and have her eggs. So I absolutely do not mind taking this stunner for the table. What a what a prize for that battle. Yeah, I'll give a photo of him and I'll put back. Right, well, he's a cracker, isn't he? We'll put this little lady back. Let her go back up in there, and I've put the empty shells back in here as well, because they'll feed on those. When they shed their shell, they're depleted in calcium, so they often eat the old shell. You can see here with all these little bite marks in it. They'll feed on the old shell, eat it, and it gives them extra calcium to harden themselves up. Go on, back you go. But you, sir, have an invite to dinner. Barely even fits in the bucket. Just down in this little hole here, try and show you. There is a brown edible crab. He's of a small, like, I'm not going to bother getting him out, but this is what you're looking for. You're just looking for like a little cave. That's in there, look. See it? Yeah, he's too small to keep, so I'll leave him there, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for like a little cave like that. That's where they are. This is one of those instances where if it hadn't have happened to me and if I hadn't have seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. I was walking along and a massive bumblebee has just flown straight into my face and then landed straight in the bucket with the lobster. Look. Flew straight into my face. I thought it was like a sparrow or something. That's a dog whelk. And that's a get fat bumblebee. Yeah, flew straight into my face and then landed straight in the bucket. I thought, what are the chances? I'm not going to harp on about them. They are really important for the environment, bees. So if you do see them, especially bumblebees like that, and bumblebees and normal honeybees, don't kill them. Wasps are horrible. They're just cantankerous, like malevolent creatures. But bees are lovely. I really like bees. And here we have a couple of bullhuss eggs. Session wouldn't be complete without a dogfish, would it? I will tag a picture up here of what creature has laid these, but those are the eggs of a greater spotted cat shark, also called a bullhuss. Yep, those are fresh. Those have got something in them. This one's an old one. This one's empty. You can see when they lay these, they attach them to the seaweeds with these tendrils. See how it's anchored on there? In there. These are perfect for this. Just a little underwater torch. Just hiding under there is a lovely anemone. Stunning, aren't they? Right, fantastic. That's all I've got to say. What a brilliant little session on the shore. We have an absolute monster of a lobster. He's a real bruiser. Go and get yourself sitting there. There you go. Yeah, he's an absolute cracker. Loads of interesting things there. Some crabs, some lobsters, some fish, some starfish, all sorts. Yeah, brilliant. Now it's time to go and pick James up from school. Right, James and I have come out. Yeah. What are we going to do?
Cook this lobster.
Cook this lobster and have a fire. James really likes having a fire, don't you?
Yeah.
So what I've got is I have got one of my rocket stoves started off. You can see the fire's just building up in here. I have a video on how to make these on the workshop channel. But there's Mr. Lobster from the foraging session on the shore. And what we're going to do, we're going to cook him up, are we?
Yeah.
We're going to cook him up on the rocket stove, and James, all we've done is, these are all offcuts from projects in the workshop. That was one of James's swords, unfortunately got broken. So James is going to have a little fire, and I'm going to cook a lobster. Right, the fire is properly taken in there now. You can see it's burning up through. And I've got a pan of clean seawater. I'm just going to bring that up to the boil. In the meantime, James has got his own little fire over here, haven't you? Having a good time?
Yep.
Something about little lads and fire, isn't it? I know I was exactly the same when I was his age. Well, still am, I guess. Yeah, you soon learn which side of the fire to stand on.
Yeah.
A few singed eyebrows before then, maybe. Right, now that's a proper rolling boil. So, lobster in, and when it gets back up to boiling like that, 2 more minutes and it's done. We'll go and get the lobster up the rock pool, get it dispatched, get it in the pan. Whilst the lobster's cooking over there, James is cooking himself some, what are you cooking?
Toast.
Cooking yourself some toast on your own little fire, eh? Yeah. Smoke in the eyes is a real problem. But yeah. Campfire toast. You going to tell me when it's ready then?
Okay.
Oh, nearly. It's always a really fine line, cooking toast on a fire. It goes from white to black in like seconds. Right, this is the lobster back up to the rolling boil. Two more minutes and it's ready to come off. And you're busy enjoying your campfire toast, aren't you?
Yeah.
Very lightly toasted. Oh, that smells lovely now. Right. Oh, he's hot.
He's quite red.
Oh, wow. That is one hot lobster.
And sorry, white red.
Yeah. Whoa. What have we got here?
A lobster.
This is a very big lobster, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got crumbs all over your face. Hannah couldn't come with us today because she had an appointment. But I did promise that I was going to take one of the big claws back for her. So, where's that little bag gone? First thing I'm going to do is...
Destroy a claw.
This one is going to go home for Hannah. Because your mum likes the claws, doesn't she?
Yeah. It says it's here.
So that one can be for your mum.
Okay.
And then you're going to do some cracking. You're going to do some knocking.
Yeah.
Right, wait there a second.
That you hold it and I track.
Alright, is that how it goes?
Yeah.
So you get to smack me on the fingers?
No.
Oh, you need a harder rock. Look, one like this. So you
Okay.
just go like that, look, watch.
Sorry, I'm done.
Ready? Ah! No, just one. Just one good one, look like this.
Oh!
Okay. Hard. Hard. I'll show you.
I am doing hard.
Watch.
Oh.
Right.
Wicked. You're doing it, Dad. Ah.
There we go. Da 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 da. God, he really did have a thick shell on him, didn't he? Pull that bit out.
Whoop.
And look, watch this. Right. Would you like to try a bit of this piece, or do you want to just try the tail?
This one has the tail.
Okay. Well, do you want to try and knock the rest of that? Right, hold it with one hand and knock it with the other.
Okay.
It's a fine art, hitting the shell and not hitting your fingers. Oop. Mm. I'm sure you don't want to try a little bit of this?
Nope.
Okay. You just want to eat the tail, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Need to give it a good knock. Come on, give it a good knock then. Harder. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. There you go. Well done, good job.
I guess I did it.
No more. You hurt your fingers then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why you don't do it. Just one.
Okay.
Look at that big piece there. You know how to do this, do you? You're going to get hold of the head. Hold of the head with both your two hands. Right. Twist like this. Twist like that. And it pulls out. What you do is you get hold of its tail. Go like that. Pull it like that. And then you go like that.
Are you even doing
Chop it. Look at all of that. Wow. Oh, it's so steamy.
Yeah.
So steamy.
Yeah.
Pull this bit out and then you get all this little bit out.
That's its poop.
That is its poop.
So maybe it was the poop in the pan.
Right. I will. Can you just go and grab me that lid?
That lid?
That lid, yes. So what we're going to do is. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
So would you like a little bit of butter on yours or not?
No, thank you.
Okay. Right, there you go.
Thank
Chop, 'cause
you.
it's a little bit hot.
Okay.
Right, you ready? Cheers. Some water behind you.
Okay. I'll have one of whole. I'll have this whole piece.
Okay. Good lad.
I don't like it. I love it.
Good. Right. Cooking it for that period of time makes it perfect. Comes out of the shell fine, still lovely and moist, not too chewy. If you overcook it, it's just like a piece of rubber. But there with melted butter is incredible. In a couple of weeks' time, when the wild garlics come out, we'll be able to put some wild garlic in here as well.
I don't like wild garlic.
You've never tried wild garlic?
I don't like it.
You don't know it if you've never tried it.
I don't want to try it.
But if you have a look in my pocket, I bet there is something you will like. Hula hoops!
To find each other.
Yep. There isn't a lot of meat in the legs, but this is actually quite a big lobster. So look, I've just got myself a little poking stick, poke it in the leg, comes out. Right. There's not as much meat as there is in the claws, but when it's a big lobster like this, there is enough to make it worth your while. Let's see. Oh, that was absolutely delicious. I mean, that's I'm all clarted up now though. James likes the tail, I like all of it. My wife Hannah really likes the claws. So I'm taking the biggest claw home for her. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to take all these little bits of empty shell down to the low tide line, hide them under a rock somewhere so all the crabs, blennies and gobies, they'll have a peek through and they'll have a feed. Nothing is wasted. Anything else that we haven't eaten here will get returned to the ecosystem. When I've got my hands cleaned, we'll see about getting some marshmallows on the go.
Yeah.
Right, well, we've finished all the lobster off, taking the shells down there. We have just built James's fire back up. And what we're going to do now?
Marshmallows.
Where are you? Marshmallow time. Now, this is the beauty of these rocket stoves as well, is it? There, look. That has done an entire lobster. And because of the way it's built, literally there's no heat transferring through the bottom of there. So when I'd finished with it, I just moved it, chuck it on the fire, chuck it in the sea, cool it down, take it away. Do anything you want with it. Like that, look. But yeah, you can see that it's just almost burnt through. Almost burnt through. This is quite a fast burning wood, and it's done one big lobster. So it's perfect for one cook-up. So it's time for marshmallows. Go around here then. I'm not saying that this is what it's designed for, but just it happily works out that way. This is perfect for doing that, isn't it? Look.
Yeah.
Just gives it the perfect amount of toasting, doesn't it? Look at that. Wow. Some little dogs come past then, didn't they? I think they wanted our marshmallows.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the right amount of toasted for a marshmallow? Is it that?
Oh,
Or is it
yes.
black? No, you want to hold it at the bottom of the stick like I'm doing, look. If you hold him at the bottom of the stick, you're not going to burn your fingers. You're stealing bits of my marshmallow.
No, I'm not.
Right. That to me is a perfect marshmallow. Do you want this one and I'll cook yours up?
Yeah.
Right, be careful because that is going to be hot.
Okay.
So blow on it first.
So my fire's dead. Dad.
It's the simple things in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you've decided from your 6 years of experience? Yeah. Took me 36 years to figure that out. All done now and time to go home. James's fire, we'll let that burn out, and the rocket stove, I just doused it in a rock pool. Doused it in a rock pool, put it out and I'll take it with us. All I'll do is the next time I go out and have a fire, set it out. That lobster was absolutely delicious. You had some as well, didn't you? You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
James has just finished off the last of the marshmallows. I'm going to take the biggest claw back home to Hannah. I hope you enjoyed joining me on the shore. I had a fantastic day's foraging and a lovely little cook-up. I hope you enjoyed the video. All the very best. What do we say?
Bye from the fish locker.
Bye from the fish locker.